I drove down there to see Texas race. Kind of like got word that at the time Tennessee was going to be hiring a new head coach. I'm like,
It's the real UT.
Yeah. No.
Oh, you said it?
No.
Clip
it. Don't clip it out.
Welcome to the Coach 'em Up podcast. My name is Tim Riley. And before I introduce my guest, I want to let everyone know that there is no scenario. Zach he's well. He's crushing his coaching job. All of the clips that he keeps putting up on Instagram are super badass. Shout out to the Miami Hurricanes men's basketball media team because holy shit, they're doing a great job. And shout out to Zach. Zach, we miss you and love you. There are two types of people in this world. There are subscribers and there are non-subscribers. You know what you need to do. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It helps us. It's completely free. Also, I've been encouraging all of you to go into your significant other's phone, friends, coworkers. Don't look at their text messages. You might regret it. It could ruin your life. But if they leave their phone unattended, go into it. You know the password. Go to YouTube, subscribe them as well. Give them the gift that keeps on giving. I've been getting messages that people have been subscribing, mostly from men, their wives, to the channel. And for that, we love you. Thank you. Now that that's out of the way, I would like to, oh man, I'm already panicking. I'm gonna introduce our guest, Alexa McAuliffe.
There you go.
I nailed it?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, awesome. I feel really good. This interview, anything that happens from this point onward, it's all downhill.
No, I thought you were going to say we're uphill.
No.
You got that right. Here we go.
All right. So we've met a few times around town. We've met through Zach. Shout out, Zach.
Shout out.
Glad they found you from Space Nightclub. So for those people who are listening and watching, they don't know who you are. They don't know anything about you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got here today?
Yeah. My name is Alexa McAuliffe, like Tim said. Nailed it. I'm currently assistant coach at University of Texas for the women's rowing team. But before that, I guess kind of how I got there was I rowed for the University of Texas. I rowed there for 5 years. And then once I graduated, I kind of bopped around a little bit. And
Can I jump in?
Yeah,
right there?
jump in.
Can we talk a little bit more about how good you were?
At rowing? Yeah, we can.
So before we go any further, you've got a bit of you're a bit of a badass at rowing. So can you talk about some of your accolades, achievements, and accomplishments? Because I think those things matter in this context.
Thank you. Yeah, so I rowed for Texas for 5 years. While I was there, my freshman year, we came in 4th at NCAAs. My sophomore year, we came 3rd. My junior year, we came 2nd, and then we were about like 2 weeks away from getting on the bus for spring training my senior year. And it was all like this whole climb. My class, we were like, okay, we're gonna be the first ones to go 4, 3, 2, 1. And the other thing is like there was no like us coming in 4th my freshman year was the first time Texas had ever gotten on the podium for the rowing team ever.
Whoa.
So every single year was just kind of like a
Who are like
up.
the perennial powerhouses in rowing? Is Stanford?
I
don't know why I knew that. Why did I know that?
I don't know.
That was crazy. From the top rope, baby. Woo!
That's like our number one like rival.
Oh, really? It's fuck
today.
Stanford on this side.
Yeah, I would say that.
Y'all heard it? I mean, she didn't say it, but I said it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the class that I came in with and like the seniors that led us were really kind of like this charge of Texas, like making Texas a rowing school. And that's kind of been the theme or was the theme when I was there. And now I would say we are a rowing school. But so each year was really this whole climb. And then when we got to my senior year, COVID happened. So it was like,
fuck,
yeah,
dude.
Literally we were like, hell yeah, let's go. This is the year. Like, epic, it's gonna be storybook.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's not funny. That's a terrible.
It wasn't funny. Yeah.
Devastating.
It was devastating. Like I was like didn't know who I was, what to do, and like we can even get to that because that comes too. But
sure.
Yeah, it was just like this whole whirlwind of like what the heck?
Yeah.
And thankfully, like the NCAA gave us an extra year of eligibility. Came back for a 5th year, and it was just like, I'm not going home until we stand on top of that podium.
Fuck yes.
So, and it was probably like the most storybook, epic year, just with like the whole journey to get from where we were, like where we started in the fall, to standing on top of the podium at the end of the year, and everything that happened in between. Like that year, the craziest things happened. Like we erged outside in a snowstorm because it snowed here in Austin that year.
I remember. It was, what was it? It was Snowmageddon.
Yeah. It was wild. Like,
so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it was the same. It was COVID year, correct? So this is 2020, and a massive ice storm rolled through Texas. Now, look, if you're from the Northeast or the Midwest, we got like 3 inches of just like pure ice. Like, you know, that's not good anywhere you are. But like most other places have the infrastructure to handle that. We do not. There's not a single salt truck. Like that doesn't exist. So the whole, like half of the state shut down completely.
yeah.
And you guys were outside training in that.
Yeah. We literally, like, I think it was right before there was this whole literally statewide shutdown.
Yeah.
That we were erging, or like, you know, the Concept 2 machines, erging on top of the stadium. Like we weren't allowed inside. That was the other thing.
Oh, because of COVID.
Because of COVID. We weren't allowed inside. We had to be like 6 feet from each other.
Outside 6 feet.
Holy shit. We're outside. I have a video, the amount of layers I put on that day.
God. Where are you from?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
So I'm from the cold.
Right.
But like,
it's still cold as fuck.
It's still cold when you're out there. Like,
yeah.
Oh man, it was miserable. We did, and I think the workout was 2x5K, and that's not an easy workout. And we were like layered up, hat on. Like midway through the workout, you're throwing layers off.
Yeah.
Because you're getting hot, and then the second it stops, you put them back on. It was wild. So
I'm just trying to, in my mind, I'm thinking like, where's the Netflix special? Because you go 4th place year 1, 3rd place year 2, 2nd place year 3. You're supposed to have your year COVID. And then the fact that you guys were able to continue to galvanize and pull it together and then win, dude.
Yeah, it was wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would like to talk about that year where things were derailed, because people don't remember. Everyone was eventually, the NCAA granted everyone an extra year of eligibility, but that was not a foregone conclusion.
No.
Most people thought that it was just like, oh, well, and it was kind of just, it is what it is. So can you talk a little bit about like what that flow chart looked like of like, things are closing down. We're not going to be able to practice. We're not going to have a season. Walk me through that year.
Yeah. So we were literally like 2 days away from getting on a bus to go to spring training. So it was like, it was March, literally right around the corner from spring break. We had a 2K test, and it was like, we never really have a day off, but like we had a day off that day. And then the next day we're supposed to do this 2K. And all of a sudden, like everyone's phones are going off and blowing up. Like SEC or Big 12 cancels, Pac-12 cancels.
They were the first two.
Pac-12 was the first.
Yeah.
And we're like, what does this mean? Like, yeah. And the Ivy League, we're like, oh. But they're like, everything's canceling. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna row? Like, are we gonna practice tomorrow? Are we gonna do this 2K? Like, and I think it wasn't even till like later that evening till the NCAA put out a tweet, and it was like all spring championships canceled.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A tweet?
A tweet.
That's
and that was
actually
just like
crazy.
Yeah. And it was
to be a tweet.
A tweet. And it was literally screenshot and sent in like every single group chat that I was in. Like, and we were just like, what does this mean? Like, we don't know what it means, you know, but it means everything is over. So I was like, holy shit, like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do? And I mean, no one knew what was going to like happening. No one knew like what we were going into and all of that. And I literally remember like, I was like, I need to go for a run.
Yeah.
And that was like my immediate reaction, like put my phone down and I went for a run around the trail and just like trying to like process and think through like what is going on.
Yeah.
And then ended up like calling our head coach later that afternoon, being like, team's kind of a mess. Like what's going on? So we ended up having like a team meeting that next morning. And even in that team meeting, like our coaches didn't really have an understanding of what was going to happen or what was next, other than like, we're about to go on spring break. And he was just like, we're obviously not going on our like spring training trip. So if you guys need to go home, like whatever you need to do, you're free to do it. And then they even extended our spring break too from 1 week to 2 weeks. So it was like, we really had no clue of what was
total limbo.
Total limbo. And even in that time period, like people immediately were getting on flights and going home and just kind of like spread across the world, because a lot of my teammates too are internationals. So that was like a big thing.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, a ton.
Is that pretty normal in the sport of rowing?
Yeah, it's a big sport in Europe. So
well, that actually, I'm interested to know how you got into rowing. Were you in other athletics growing up? Like,
yeah, so I played ice hockey. Like, I know
you're a fucking dog, dude.
I played ice hockey, and that was it.
You're my kind of person. Yeah, hell yeah. Hockey players. I don't know if anyone trains hockey players. Been around. Not all. Not everyone's the same. You don't want to paint with a broad brush, but y'all are the best hang.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thanks. I'll take that.
Yeah. So you ice hockey, and then how rowing happened?
Yeah.
First of all, time out. Let me back.
Yeah, I know.
How long did you play ice hockey, dude?
All through high school. Like the goal for me was I wanted to play in college.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it kind of had like a switch.
How'd the switch happen?
So it's also going to bring in CrossFit a little bit. Like my parents were or good family friends of ours opened a CrossFit gym when I was in like middle school or high school. And so I do a lot of like my off ice training with them in the gym. It wasn't really CrossFit, but it was in a CrossFit facility.
Okay.
And there was just like this small teen little comp that happened one summer, and I was like, I'll do it for fun, And someone came up to me, and there was a rowing event. Someone came up to me after the event, was like, hey, you should row. I'm like, I don't even know what rowing is. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And they told my parents. And
they were like, no, she needs to row.
And like Kim found out, like she rowed herself, but then one of her really good friends was a coach in college. So she was like, no, she should seriously like consider rowing. And like it was summer, I think it was summer, spring, and I wasn't really playing hockey. It was more of like ice or off ice time. And so I'm like, I'll give this like rowing thing a try. And it was my junior summer of high school when I like just kind of tried out for the local club team and ended up going from there to the junior national team.
Whoa.
It was like a very quick, like very
How
quick.
How fast did that happen?
Within like 3 weeks.
Wait, time out. What? Dude, how does that happen? How the fuck did you do that?
So a 2K is like a standard test in rowing.
Okay.
And so when I tried out for the team, a 2K was part of the test or the tryout. I did a 2K, and the coach was like, have you rowed? I've only ever used this thing in CrossFit.
You know what? That starts to make a lot more sense. Whoever it was who came up to you, saw you row, was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you need to row. Well, they were right.
Yeah, they were. Like, it literally, if it wasn't for them, I would not be even probably sitting here.
Isn't life crazy like that,
so
dude?
So crazy. Yeah.
You were at a CrossFit event and someone saw you. Mm-hmm. That's how that happened.
Yeah.
That's so nuts.
Yeah. As like a sophomore in high school.
Whoa. All right, so now you're on the national team.
Yeah, the junior national team. That's like where I learned how to row. I'm serious.
So you were just like raw horsepower.
Yeah. I mean,
straight dog.
I feel like hockey plays a lot of like a big role in all of that.
Dude,
like,
the engine and just the mental
and
place
rowing
you have to go to
yes.
for hockey, dude. Y'all are sick.
And rowing is such a mental sport too. Like mental, and it's a push sport, which I feel like people don't realize. Like it's a push sport, not a pull sport.
Time out. Because if you would have asked me 15 seconds ago.
You're pulling.
I'm pulling.
No.
Tell me everything. Because what, you're pushing with your legs?
Yeah. Have you seen my legs?
Yeah.
Compared to my arms?
Your arms are, you're jacked.
All right,
dude.
Thanks. It's CrossFit.
It's CrossFit. Shout out CrossFit. Okay, but let's. I don't want to jump ahead of that. Break that down.
Yeah.
For us.
So I feel like
Most people would have said rowing is a pulling
as a
sport.
pull sport, there is some pull to it, obviously.
Right.
But it's mainly a push sport. Like your arms are just connecting your legs to the drive, really.
Right.
And if you're not connected through your upper body, like you're not connected, or your push is going to be less effective.
Okay.
But really, what it is like it's a deadlift, turn it, or a deadlift or a high pull. Sumo deadlift, high pull, really, even like you're pulling just a little bit at the top of that high pull,
Yeah.
but it's only because of momentum.
Right.
Same thing with rowing, like the oar is going to come to you if you let it go too. The motion comes from the push.
Do you find when it comes to like leg development for rowers, is it usually like, is it quads and adductors that blow up the most? Is it hamstrings, glutes? Like, what does that look like? Or is it different dependent on the person's leverages probably?
Yeah, it's sometimes super dependent. Like for me, I'm very quad dominant. So like for me, it was always my quads. But then
Just getting fucking wrecked.
all the time, every single day, our coach would always yell like, "Every day is leg day."
Yeah.
Like yes.
Yeah. I mean, actually.
So yeah, it definitely can play differently depending on the athlete. But mainly it's a push sport and it's very quad dominant.
You know what's fun? So this brings up something else. I've spent enough time just in athletics and being a coach long enough to understand that you can't, there's not a sport on the planet that you can look at and be like, I can figure that out. Like but I feel like rowing
Yeah.
kind of gets disrespected where it's like anyone who's been on a concept 2 rower is like, I can fucking row, dude.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest technical mishaps that the ordinary rowing enthusiast makes? And like, what are the big keys? What were the things that changed for you? Because I'm sure you had an idea of like what rowing was.
Yeah.
What were the biggest technical changes for you? They were like, oh,
The more relaxed you are, the harder you can go.
really?
Yeah. And it's almost like
Interesting.
you sprint a ton.
I do.
Like if you're super tense, you're not really moving that fast.
No,
Like you got to be loose, you got to be relaxed.
that is so counterintuitive.
in order to go. It's so counterintuitive and it's really hard to teach. And it's really hard to do it yourself because like you just want to grip and rip type
fuck yeah.
deal.
If you told me right now, you're like,
Just relax.
there's X amount of meters, go. I would look like I was doing a 1 rep max deadlift for the entirety of that time, for sure.
Yeah. So I think for me, like learning how it's almost like a little bit of athletic maturity too, to be able to do that.
Sure.
Because you do have to be relaxed. And in order to be relaxed, like you kind of have to let go of that like grip and ripped ego or like the side of you that just wants to go
Yeah.
crazy.
Isn't that fucking funny?
Yeah.
Because it's like that with sprinting. I'm just learning now, rowing, jumping. You know, I've spent several years. I mean, you know, I'm very fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with an incredibly gifted and talented track athlete. But like he went from like being really good to having the second longest jump in the nation this past year.
Oh, dang.
Being immersed in the jumping world for all the years of dunking. And plus that, it's like no one jumps their best. No one jumps their best when they're gritting their teeth
Yeah.
or thinking,
Yeah.
you know, or like quote unquote trying. And it's really, you use the word, the phrase emotional or not emotional maturity, which may be a little bit of that too, but athletic maturity of like understanding how to thread the needle between putting forth a lot of effort, but that not necessarily equating to being tense.
Yeah.
That's fucking hard.
It's really hard. And that's like, even if you watch rowing too, like some people will watch it and be like, oh, they look like they're not doing anything. But it's like, no, they're actually doing the most right now. Like the absolute most. But that's also like the cool part of it, you know, like the beauty of the sport is that like when rowers are going so hard and it doesn't even look like, it almost looks effortless in a sense. And then you finish and you're like,
yeah, fighting for your life.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was probably the biggest technical thing for me that I learned.
When you see people at the CrossFit gym rowing and is that the thing you see most? I mean, apart from, I'm sure,
I
just
really
the timing and sequencing, it's all of those things, right?
Yeah, I just I just try not to pay attention sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Hannah and I trained together a ton, and her rowing's come a long way. But at first, I was like,
how long did it take you? By the way, shout out Hannah Black. She was just recently on the show. Was that one of those things where, like, how long did it take you to get to the point where you were comfortable enough to be like, hey, like, try this?
Well, here's the thing. I feel like we respect each other a ton.
Right.
And we're really good at like, hey, try this, try that.
Yeah.
So I feel like right off the bat, we kind of like, that was really our dynamic.
There was some give and
and we
take.
work like, we're very similar and we're very different. But yeah, I remember, I think we did a rowing workout together. Like that was one of our first workouts together. And I don't know if I gained my respect that way, but then she let me give her a few pointers.
Hell yeah.
But she helps me a ton with, I mean, she's an insane weightlifter, and she's just turned herself, like, it's been really cool to watch her in the last 2 years. Like, we've trained together for the last almost 2 years now. And to see her from where she was when I met her to like where she is now, it's crazy.
Well, this reminds me, the two of you talking about kind of working out and kind of, you know, having friendly competition, and you absolutely smoking her. You didn't say it, I'm saying it. Rowing together. We've got an event coming up soon.
I know.
So many of you will be upset at me for saying this, but I'm hosting an Apex event. It's going to happen in 2 weeks from now. By the time you see this podcast, it'll have been over for 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't advertise it. I didn't post about it. I didn't make a big thing because it's meant to be kind of like a trial run. We're going to work out the kinks and stuff. But dude, I can't wait to see you throw down. Maybe we should have added a rowing event.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Not a 2K though, please.
No. But I just got confirmation that Hannah will be there too. So
She will.
I don't know if she's going to compete, but she's going to come chill.
Okay.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by friend of the show, David Gray of David Gray Rehab, creator of the absolute game-changing foot, ankle, and Achilles program. To date, it's helped over 8,000 people, including Zach and myself, get back to running, jumping, and playing pain-free. This program isn't just for athletes. It's also been used by coaches and physios in the NFL, NBA, and Premier League, as well as every other major sport. And if that wasn't impressive enough, you can get the full program 15% off lifetime access when you click the link in the show notes and use code TIM at checkout.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is sponsored by Squat Wedgies. Tim, what are Squat Wedgies?
Squat wedgies are an adjustable squat wedge, 7, 13, and 20 degrees.
It's big enough to elevate your whole foot and not just your heel.
Because it's rubber, it doesn't slide on surfaces.
It's 22 pounds, so it's durable and stable enough for even your biggest athletes.
There's a 90-day risk-free trial. The shipping is free, and
get 15% off Squat Wedgies with our discount code CoachEmUp15.
Coach 'em up 15 for 15% off of the best squat wedge on the planet. So the biggest things that you see that you're like, oh God, you know, lowest hanging fruit to get the biggest return on your investment is learning to thread the needle between high effort and, you know, relaxation.
Yeah.
And then from the technical piece, and look, like I'm sure, just out of respect to the sport of rowing, we could probably spend a whole podcast
For sure.
talking about that and what it could be for each individual. But very broad stroke, very general. Like, what is the sequence supposed to look like? How do you know you're doing it right? I mean, because people don't know.
No, yeah, that's true. And I mean, it's not the same as it is on the water, but it is at the same time. Like the flow out of bow, we call it. So the finish, or like when your handle is at your chest, like that's your finish position. And then from there is kind of how you would break down the stroke, right? So then like arms away, body's over, come up to the catch and push.
So that's something that I see as well, where most people don't actually, I use the terminology fold up because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but
Hold up.
like
Yeah.
people will,
Compress.
yes, that's a better word, but it's like, I'll watch people kind of like, almost like the only way I could, analogy that I use is like almost like a quarter squat. Like they're not getting into knee flexion or hip flexion and they're not reaching. I'll tell people to follow the handle into the rower itself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times like the fault with that too is like if you look at them from the side, like where are their hips in relation to their shoulder? Like are their hips in front of their shoulder or their shoulders in front of their hips? Because oftentimes if like your hips are in front of your shoulders and you're sitting back, like you're not gonna really be able to get up into that compression position.
Oh shit.
And then same thing too, like the harder thing is, especially in CrossFit, like we just use that machine so easily. I don't know if that would be like the right way, but there's a lot of different things that you can change on the machine so that it fits to you, you know? Like if you get on in CrossFit, like everybody calls it a rower, but the and the feet are super high up and you're a really tall person, odds are like you're not going to be able to compress as much.
Oh, sure.
And same thing if like you're super short and the feet are all the way dropped down. Same thing with like the damper too. Like that affects everything too. So I think
Can I speaking of the damper, I have a confession.
you wrote a 10.
Always.
Yeah.
10 always. Wait,
He didn't even tell me to know.
Why were you, first of all, time out. I love that you knew immediately.
Yeah.
Put it on 10. So yes, guilty as charged with the damper on 10, but why you sounded so disappointed?
I mean,
Tell me.
I feel like that's just like we would never do that as a rower. But
Wait, I want to be official. What do I need to do?
it also depends on like your distance, like what you're doing. If you're going for max power, sure, crank that thing up. You know? Like
that's
because then you
pretty
just have
much all
more right. So then you have more weight behind it. But if you're going for like a longer piece, or if you're using it in like a metcon or a workout, like putting it on a 10, you're just putting yourself in the ground for no reason.
What would be like a solid short sprint for the average person to do on a rower?
For speed or like damper?
Speed in. Like let's say I'm going in, I'm going to put this thing on a 10. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to die.
Is it go as low as you can, like split wise?
Okay.
Is that what you're,
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like what would be a good,
for you?
yes, for me.
Sub 120.
Okay.
I feel like you've probably gone sub 120.
No.
No? Okay. Sub 120.
I just haven't tried.
Oh,
Yeah. But now I'm
could do
I'm
it.
going to.
Yeah.
I'm thinking right now, I'm like, I kind of want to race you.
Ooh.
Because I want to know, I want to see how badly you
So
kick my ass.
there is some guy.
You fucking bury me, dude.
We'll do
I like-
500 meters.
So look, I work out. I have my NFL off-season program. It's one of my favorite things I do. I love training the guys. I'm gonna be honest. My favorite part is just jump. I just work out with them half the time. Now I can't all the time because I have to be, a professional. I'm still a facilitator. I have to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are paying me to got to be an adult. But my favorite part is getting it. And so I've come to enjoy and appreciate when I meet someone who's way better than I'll ever be at something and doing that thing with them. Because one, you always learn so much.
Oh, 100%.
Two, I get a kick. I mean, I really enjoy watching how much better someone else is at, insert physical activity than me, because it's inspiring.
Yeah. It's
and it's cool to watch also too, like, when it comes to sports like football and basketball, I don't really have, and I haven't for a long time, even when I was a kid, I didn't really have favorite teams. I just wanted to see good athletes be great. Like when you see someone doing something they're really good at, it's fucking fascinating to me.
I agree.
So for all of those reasons,
You want to do it?
I want to do
All
it.
right.
We'll record
Let's
it.
do it.
She's like, twist my arm.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back. All this technical stuff that we've been talking about, you're learning all this stuff at like the highest level? Like a month into starting your rowing career, essentially?
Well, back up. I did not that was definitely not a skill that I learned learning how to row.
Right.
That was a skill that I learned in college. Like once I got to Texas.
Okay. So it took time.
Yeah, it definitely took time. Like I think the junior national team was really just like an intro to rowing.
Okay.
And kind of just made me realize like how good I could be at this sport
Yeah.
in such a short amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
holy, like this could change
So
my entire life.
did you like ball out on the junior national team, then get a scholarship to Texas from that? Tell me all that.
how I got to Texas?
How'd you get there? How'd you get there?
So everything like kind of happened really fast. I did that my junior summer, so going into senior year. So I was kind of like in this weird in between, like, do I want to play hockey or do I want to row in college? And the thing for me, I think that made rowing so interesting was that I had only done it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months at that time. And the rate that I felt like I was excelling was a lot faster than hockey.
Sure.
And the opportunities for rowing were bigger.
Sure.
And like I had always wanted to like leave home.
Yeah.
And I think like that was kind of like a goal throughout high school, was like to focus on athletics, focus on sports so that I could go to a college.
Get the fuck out of there.
Literally. So that was really what I wanted to do. And when rowing like really started opening all these doors really quickly, I was just like, I got to go for it. Like, let me see what these opportunities can bring me or kind of offer. And I think there was a coach at the program that I was at the time, who was like, you should check out Texas. Like, and so I emailed the coach, and then before you know it, the coach came out and watched a practice. And then I was on an official visit at Texas, and I had a few other officials lined up after Texas too. And when I came down here and I saw the campus and met the team, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is where I belong.
Fuck yes.
So yeah. And then the rest is history.
Wow. How cool.
Yeah.
And then you have this badass kind of storybook career at Texas.
Yeah.
After, at the end of this Netflix documentary college career that you have, confronted with the fact, okay, like rowing career's over, well, actually it wasn't.
Well, it was for a minute.
You stopped.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I know what you've accomplished since. So can you talk about that?
Yeah. So after NCAAs in 2021, I actually wanted to keep rowing. Like, that was the goal then. Like, it wasn't, I was so focused on NCAAs and winning or wanting to win throughout my entire college athletics, really. But really that 5th year, when anyone would ever ask me like, oh, what are you gonna do after college? I'm like, I couldn't even talk about it.
Right.
Like, I'm so focused on this. Like,
fucking
I'm so
dialed
locked
right now,
in.
Chief.
I was in like 2 classes that semester. So like, I was an athlete, not a student athlete. And like, that's all I wanted. Like, I just wanted to compete. I wanted to row. I wanted to go fast.
Yeah.
And like,
If you ain't first, you're last.
yeah, exactly. So once that all ended, I was kind of just like, I'm at the peak of my rowing career. Like, especially in that 5th year, like, I felt like every time I sat down on the erg, like I PR'd, and I just felt like I was just climbing. So I just was like, I want to go. Like, put me in the boat. Like, let me keep rowing. And that really wasn't what it was on my mind, but it wasn't something I was really considering until after NCAAs. And so when that came at the time too, like that past year, the Olympics just ended and the current coach of the national team had like stepped down. So there was no real coach at the time. And the person that was filling in was kind of just like managing us from afar. So we were all kind of training separately. Like, I was training in Austin, and at the time I was training at Texas Rowing Center, which is like a club on the lake, and all their ergs are outside. So I was like erging in the back on the trail outside. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, do I want to do this?
Right. Yeah.
And yeah. And we were all kind of just waiting for, it's called selection. So you apply to be selected, and then you go to selection camp.
Okay.
And then from selection, you get selected for world championships.
Okay.
Into boats. So I was selected for selection, and then they had called and was like, actually, world championships are canceled because they were supposed to be in China that year.
Oh.
Yeah. Bad location.
Bad. Do a better job.
Yeah. So world championships were canceled, and they're like, we're still going to kind of like run this camp if you want to come. And I was just like, like that's, I don't want to just go like
fuck around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, there was like this weird in between stage of like, do I want to row? Do I not want to row? Do I want to row? Do I not want to row? Like, I don't want to train by myself. Like, what am I going to do with my life? And, I don't want to say it was like this joke throughout college, but everybody was always like, oh, Alexa's just going to move to an island and coach CrossFit. Like, that's what she's going to do. And that's literally what I did.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
What
I did.
island did you move to?
St. Thomas in the Yeah. I know.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I had like a mutual friend DM'd her, and she owned a gym at the time down in St. Thomas, and I was like, hey, any chance you need a coach? Like, I just graduated.
Were all your friends like fucking called it?
Yeah, pretty much. And they were like, Alexa's fucking wild. Like, what is she doing? Are we really gonna let her just like?
You're gonna let her leave? She's moving to an island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the group chat must have been going crazy.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it was crazy because it happened within like 2 weeks too.
Dude, your life.
Yeah, so like DM'd her on Instagram. She was like, "Yeah, come on down," and 2 weeks later, packed all my stuff, flew down there with a backpack and a suitcase, and in that time too, got my level 1.
Wow.
So that I could go down there and coach, and was down there for about a year. And in that time too, like I was doing CrossFit, but I wasn't doing CrossFit. It was kind of just like I was coaching it a lot. I actually coached pretty much every single class.
Whoa.
I like opened the gym and closed the gym for the most part.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. And I wasn't expecting that. Like that wasn't really what I thought I was getting.
Wasn't part of the plan.
Wasn't part of the
You're
plan.
like, you were gonna coach 2 classes and hit the beach.
Exactly.
That's not what happened.
Like I was the least tan I've ever been.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
What a crash course in learning how to coach people.
yeah, and
groups of people.
That was really it. Like I watched the owner coach 2 or 3 classes that day, and then she was pretty much like, "Here's the keys, you got it."
Oh my God.
Like, oh dang, here I go.
Jesus.
Like thankfully, I've kind of grew up around CrossFit in a
Working
CrossFit
out,
gym
training. You were
with
collegiate
coaches.
athlete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I had like some sense of okay, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really just like dove into the deep end head first, and coached all these people who live on an island.
What was all these island people, dude? What? All right. Because this is fascinating to me, going from not coached before to coaching the most
Yeah.
instantly in a brand new environment, brand new setting. I mean, at first, what were your biggest hurdles? Like, what were the things you were confronted with where you're like, I don't know how to fucking solve for this, or like, what's the best way to go about XYZ?
Yeah. I think like in terms of coaching like a big group, I was really just like, what's the plan here? You know,
Yeah.
like I really had to learn fast and like how to break down a movement. Like, okay, here's the workout for the day. And like, thankfully we followed a program. So it gave us like
Context.
Sure. And it wasn't like I was coaching and writing the workout. But like I had to learn very quickly and like, okay, if we're cleaning that day, like we're not just going to jump to cleaning whatever the weight is in the workout.
Right.
Like, how do we dial back from that? And that definitely took some time. And at first I was kind of just like,
Stumbling
also
your way
still
through it.
learning where everything is in the gym.
That's
too.
honestly one of the worst things is like, not only if you're like kind of just like figuring this thing out, but also like, where the fuck are the clips?
Yeah.
And like, where does anyone know where that one bar is? Like, it's like no one knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So relatable.
So I feel like it was just like a crash course in learning how to do everything all at once. Like clean the gym, open the gym, organize class, organize people. And as much as like it was really crazy and hectic at first too, like it was, I always go back and say like, if it wasn't for me just like taking that leap and just literally throwing myself in head first, like I don't think I would love coaching as much as I do.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if that really makes sense in a way, but it was just like one, to move yourself to a place that you've never been, knowing nobody.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing too.
What a canon event, by the way, for
Yeah.
anyone who's grown. Look, there's nothing wrong with living where you've always lived and where you've grown up. Like there are beautiful things about that as well.
Yeah.
Lifelong friendships and bonds and having family close by and stuff like those things can be really special, and are special. However, you know, uprooting your life and starting over and starting fresh somewhere new, and in your case, starting a brand new profession and just all the things.
Yeah.
Man,
It's
that is a
crazy.
crash course.
Yeah.
It is.
And a lot of things too. Like, I think one of the biggest challenges for me while I was there too is that I just came from like being the fittest I'd ever been, competing at the highest level. And now I'm seeing all my teammates start to go back to school and like start to train again, and me having this like weird identity crisis.
Totally.
And like
Just
deep,
like you're out here on a fucking island.
literally, like there was some dark moments out there. I'm not kidding. Like dark moments. Just staring out at the ocean. You're like,
The fuck am I doing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to like the outside world are like, holy shit, Alexis, this looks so cool. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting there in
crying
my car,
on an island by yourself.
Yeah, crying.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, I had to learn a ton quickly.
Yeah.
And like it forced me to kind of deal with a lot at the same time.
Sure.
Too. Like I think it was definitely like one of the hardest chapters of my life, but most rewarding at the same time.
So you're there for a year.
Yeah, about a year.
And then what prompts you leaving?
I think a big part of it was I just felt like my athlete itch wasn't being scratched. And I think the hardest thing too is I coached so many classes that once you finish coaching, you're like, I just need to leave the gym.
People, so, all right. This is a good topic of conversation. People assume that because you're a trainer or you're a coach, they're like, oh, sweet, at least you get to, at least if you want to work out, it's like where you work, right? It's like wrong.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. I hate it here now. I resent this place now.
Yeah.
Because you're there all day. And if you're working, particularly under the circumstances you are, where it's like you're doing it all, you're running the place, you're coaching every class, the last fucking thing you want to do is get amped up to work up to a heavy set of cleans.
Right.
Not ideal.
No.
And layer an identity crisis on top of that.
No.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Some depression?
Yeah, man.
Sprinkle that on top? No chance.
Yeah. So
okay, you're like, I got to get back to it.
yeah, and I just felt like it definitely brought me out to realize like what I want. You know, like going out there made me feel like, oh, okay, here are the things that I want that I don't feel like I have closed the book on.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually ended up moving back home for a little bit, and I was only probably home for 8 months, 6 or.
And this is back in Boston.
Yeah, back.
The place you couldn't wait to get the fuck out.
Yeah, place like and here's the thing too. Like I always told my friends, if I ever move home, something's wrong. Like, come get me immediately.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that was really hard too. Like
Yeah, now you're back home.
now I'm home. Like this is what
Was
I
it bitter? Was it part of you like, I'm glad to be somewhere familiar, but then did it like quickly set in that you were like, oh fuck, dude?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I just feel like my like high school days, like especially junior, senior year, I was so dialed in on like what I wanted to do, and
Right.
a lot of the people that I kind of grew up with were like didn't have that same focus.
Yep. I would have been one of those that didn't have the focus.
So, but like I felt like I had no friends.
Yeah.
Like, or I just grew away from a lot
Sure.
of them.
Yeah.
So moving back too, I was kind of just like, I felt really alone. Like,
Yeah.
probably more alone than I was on the island.
Right.
And that was a hard like balance too of just like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Like, how do I leave this place?
I gotta get out of here again.
I gotta get out of here. Literally, again, I'm like, ooh, what do I do? But actually a good.
Your brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have 4.
Fuck.
Yeah, they're all younger than me too.
You're the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
too.
Really?
Yeah.
How many you got?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a little bit different.
Yeah.
A lot different.
A lot.
But
Yeah.
oldest.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I was home for about 6-7 months, which felt like probably 3 years.
I bet.
But I was working out at like the gym that I used to work out when I grew up, and someone reached out to me on Instagram, was like, "Hey, saw you like working out at this gym. I just opened a gym, or had opened a gym. Like, you should come work out with me." And so I went and worked out with him, and we worked out a few times, ended up working out a few times. And then he was like, "You want to coach here for a little bit, like while you're home?"
Sure.
So I was like, all right, sure. So I was coaching like 1 class or 2 classes a night. And then it turned
Better than
into
coaching everyone on the island at all hours of the day.
And let me tell you, I knew the whole island just because of coaching every class. Wasn't a big island. And everyone knew me.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't go to the gym.
That's the CrossFit
Oh, that's the new coach. Yeah. How long will this one last? But yeah, so he offered me like a part-time gig. So I was kind of doing that, just
Right.
trying to figure out like, all right, what do I want to do? And at the same time too, I was coaching on like a one-on-one online program. Because actually when I was in St. Thomas, I met this couple and they had just opened up an app, a fitness app while I was there. And she was like, I want to launch this one-on-one program. So I was kind of like with her for the start of that. So I was doing that remotely, coaching part-time at this gym. He ended up offering me like a full-time position.
Okay.
So I was coaching half the classes a day now, and kind of just trying to figure out like, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And that May, NCAA's was in New Jersey. So it was only like 4.5 hour drive. So I drove down there to see Texas race. And because a lot of my friends were still on the team.
Still competing.
And kind of like got word that at the time Tennessee was like gonna be hiring a new head coach. So I'm like, like
It's the real UT.
yeah, no.
Oh, you said it?
No,
Clip
no, don't clip it out.
I got you slipping.
No,
I got you slipping.
you walked me into that one.
Look, there's a long-standing battle on this show between Zach and I.
But you live in
Univers-
Austin.
Listen, everything on the east of the Mississippi River, I'm not fucking kidding. If you say UT, everyone without blinking is going to say that's the University of Tennessee. No one. You know what? Everyone everywhere else outside of the state of Texas and maybe Oklahoma call Texas.
Yeah,
It's just Texas.
but I call it Texas too. So
But it ain't UT.
all right.
All right. Well, I don't want to
Anywho,
ruin
back
this
to the
interview. It's going really well. Okay, so you get wind of some news.
Some news. So I'm like, oh, maybe I want to coach rowing. Like maybe like I want to dip my toes in. You know, like that would be kind of fun. Maybe I'd want to do that. And I actually reached out to our head coach here at Texas, kind of just expressing like, hey, I might be interested in coaching rowing. So I actually started interviewing for some other school, and at that same time, a coach from Texas had left, so a position opened here.
Oh shit.
And he reached out and asked if I'd be interested in coming back. So that's kind of how that occurred. So, and I had always said too, like, even in college, I'm like, if I ever coach rowing, I would only do it at Texas.
That's dope.
So it's always funny how like the world works and like the way of the world, and then how things kind of come to be, and like the manifest of it all.
Can I tell you an observation
Yeah.
just about you that I think is awesome? I'm sure you've said no to plenty of things, right? Particularly as someone, you seem like when you're locked in on something and it's important to you, like you're the kind of person who has the discipline to make sacrifice, but you have a lot of courage.
Yeah.
You do. You're a brave person
Thanks.
because you've said yes and made decisions and done things that most people are not willing to do. And you've done it in how old are you?
27.
Fuck you, dude. I didn't get to that place until about, I was in my mid-20s, I guess, but it's been a reoccurring theme throughout our entire conversation is just even going back to, someone like, you should row. And you're like, okay, I'll try it. And then you do the thing. And then and then it moves to Texas. And then you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to move to this CrossFit gym. And then, and then yes, I'm going to take this part-time job. And so I see seeking. I see a lot of, finding purpose, kind of falling out of it, finding it again. But all along the way is like your willingness to say yes and, try something new. That's a gift and a talent.
Thanks. Yeah. And it's definitely, I feel like a lot of times, like I like the chance. Like, what are the chances that, and sometimes I think in like worst case scenario, like doesn't work out.
Yeah.
That's not the
and
worst.
Then what?
That's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But then it just tells me like, oh, you just don't like that. So, all right, pivot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like I've never really planned things.
Yeah.
I can plan. My friends will probably tell me I'm a bad planner.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm just one to kind of, and it's not go with the flow either.
Yep.
But yeah, I like to take a chance.
Dude, I just went through a round of interviews. I can't tell anyone about it. So I love to just gaslight you guys like that. But sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But also, you know, I really can't. But I did. And, you know, oftentimes in interviews, it'll be like, what's your 3-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? I'm like, plan? Buddy, I'm running off fucking a dream, a vision, and charisma. I mean, that's, you know, but all jokes aside, like, I, like you, like I can hold in my mind, you know, the essence of a place that I would like to be at, you know, and then I can just start taking swings at what I feel like is going to help me get closer to that ideal.
Yes.
As opposed to like a final destination. Because the truth is like anytime I've ever accomplished something that took a lot of time, work, effort, and energy, like when I got to that place, it's never been the end.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now I'm done. It's over now. And so in that way, it's like, you know, like I have the scaffolding for an idea, but I don't have plot lines on the map. You know what I'm saying? Of like when it's going to happen per se.
Yeah.
Like I have the thing and then I just work backwards from that.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes too, like if you would have told me when I first started training and coaching and I made up my mind, I was like, I'm going to work with pro athletes, full stop. And the way that I had my plan originally set out, if I'd put a timeline on that, it would have been 10 years. Right? But I got there through the craziest fucking circumstances in like 3, dude. Right?
Wow.
But therein lies the entire, you know, issue with the time on the plot line. It's like,
yeah,
if I don't say yes to all these other opportunities, then I don't get there to 3 because I'm too busy fucking dug in on my 10-year plan.
Yeah.
So anyway, I like the way you roll.
No, I'm similar in that. Like, and you can't even sometimes describe what the thing is.
Yes.
But you can see it, you can feel it.
Yep.
And
I know when I'm getting closer to it too.
Yes, same. Or
It's
you're
like
like
warmer.
unlock little pieces of it. You're like, all right, we're going in the right direction.
That's right. Okay, so you kind of you're at the peak. And then you're kind of like in the fucking wilderness. You're basically an episode of Lost on this island, but you have a CrossFit community. You're back home. You're like, fuck my life. Like I'm crying at my parents' house. But then bam, now you're back. You're coming back to Texas to coach. Tell me about that. I mean, electric.
Yeah. And just like, I think there's something really cool about one, like even just the ask to, hey, come back to Texas.
Yeah.
You know, I have a ton of respect for our head coach and what he's been able to accomplish at Texas too. And in his own career as well. So for him to even consider or ask me, I was already like, holy shit, like this is insane.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love it here. I feel like for me, even as an athlete, like I was so bought in to what it meant to represent the University of Texas and to be a Longhorn. I always said like my blood bleeds burnt orange. Mm-hmm. And so to come back and be able to give back in a way to what this program and this university gave so much to me was already like so fulfilling and so rewarding. And like I hadn't even started the job. And I feel like that's just kind of like definitely like a badge of honor that I wear is that like I got to go here and I like now I get to coach here. And
so it appears that the storybook ending didn't end.
Yeah,
the story continues.
Yeah, it didn't end.
We're so back.
We're back.
Well, I've got some questions about moving from the athlete role into the coach.
Ooh, yeah.
So, dude, I've worked with, people who are now coaches who were once really good athletes in their sport, and watching them try to coach people is painful.
Yeah.
Not everyone, but it can be difficult for someone who was really good at a sport the way they did it, and they know how they did it, being able to coach a team full of other people who maybe do things differently and need to be coached differently and don't receive things the same way. And then on the other hand, I would imagine that having been there, having done that, you know, and been that dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I'm really him.
Yeah.
Her. Okay. I'm really her. There's also something that you just cannot replace about having walked the walk. So I would love to start with the former, talk a little bit about like some of the difficulty that comes from having been the athlete, having been the, you know, woman in the arena and done it at a high level and then trying to coach.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about all the good stuff.
I think like the hardest part at first was like when you're in it and you're doing it every day, you're like, oh yeah, I know what we're going to do. I know how it plays out and all this. And then it's your turn to actually like, or it was my turn to coach it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the launch is what we call it. It's like the boat that drives next to our boats.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, I forgot, you know? And like, I did this for 5 years, every single day, every single morning. How do I not remember? You know, like, what are we supposed to do?
That's that ADHD hyper-focused dog. Yeah.
So
you were too locked in.
That was definitely like, at first, like that first few practices and like just trying to remember like, what am I doing? You know?
Yeah.
And I think the easiest thing for me at first was just like start simple, like be simple. Don't feel like you have to coach every part of the stroke.
Yeah.
Like let's just focus on one thing at a time and then build on that. Because if you're like all over the place, then you're all over the place.
Yeah.
And they notice that too.
100%. People can feel, particularly the better the athlete, if you're feeling a little chaotic and a little out of sorts, they fucking know.
Yeah. So, and that's definitely like, that was definitely something I learned a lot towards the end of my first year coaching, but I feel like I got to build on that this past year.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely that was like a big challenge at first. And at the same time, like for coaching rowing, like you're also driving a boat. Like you're
I didn't even.
I know these are difficulties you probably had no idea I was about to.
No, you're driving a boat and coaching.
I'm driving like you're driving a boat and you're coaching and you're trying not to hit a bridge or hit kayaks or like there's 110 things that are going on while you're just trying to coach. And that like at first like the management of all of that, it's like super stressful.
Yeah,
and. Like even like we ran a few camps this past summer and some of our athletes actually like coached with us and them like for the first time getting to experience like, oh, drive the boat and coach and not hit.
That's cool. They get that experience.
Yeah,
That's
is really
dope.
cool. But I also forgot too, like, oh, how hard it can be.
Mm-hmm.
But that was definitely a challenge at first too. Cause it's like, nobody really taught me how to just like do all of those things at the same time.
Right.
Because it's not like we also just yell to them. Like we have a megaphone. So like you're holding a megaphone in one hand, driving the boat
the other.
and like the forward, backward, like you're the throttle, you're doing everything with one hand,
Honestly,
talking with the other, not even looking straight. And there's like a kayak and you're like,
if someone, as of right now, if someone asked me what the worst case scenario to like take acid or shrooms would be, it would be that.
Yeah.
I would lose the idea of managing all those things and driving a boat and having a megaphone. That feels like it's bad trip immediately. Yeah. Full panic attack.
Yeah. So that was what definitely happened a few times, like full panic attack. Like, how did I do this?
They're like, where?
Yeah.
They're like, where did coach go?
Yeah. Like,
it's like, why the boat stopped?
I'm stuck in a bridge.
Yeah, I saw her. She definitely almost collided with a paddleboarder.
Yeah. If you're on the lake and you hear me yell, get out of the way. I'm serious.
Oh, you've had to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like,
so you're out there directing traffic, just normal ass. It's just narcs out there.
Like we'll be going, and like the other thing is too, like kayaks and paddleboarders don't realize like how fast we're moving. So when I'm like, hey, heads up in the kayak,
and they're like, oh, I got time.
And they're like, oh, let me just race this person, or let me like get to the middle. I'm like, oh no, like
we're about to T-bone you, dog.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely like traffic control is big too, especially on a Saturday morning. But
You guys get out there early too,
We do.
though, don't you?
For that reason, a lot of the time. It's because paddleboarders and kayaks.
I would have a real problem with like getting up early, knowing the reason that I'm getting up at 5:30 to go row is because like paddleboarders. I would fucking really have a problem with that. Yeah.
But that was definitely like an adjustment, like figuring all that out. Like, what am I doing? How am I like?
What are personalities like on a
the
rowing team relative to like other sports you've competed in?
I feel like for our team specifically, like they can kind of be all over the board. Like we definitely have some of like the quiet leaders, like the behind the scenes type people. But then we also have the type that are not afraid to like stand up and say like, hey, we need to get our shit together. So it definitely like varies from person to person on our team. And we have a big team too. So it's
How big is the team?
68.
68?
Yeah.
Every time you talk, I realize I don't know shit about rowing and it keeps happening.
Yeah.
But I'm glad this is happening.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. I mean,
I didn't realize there was that many.
it takes 9 to fill one boat. So
Okay.
yeah.
Math.
I know we got a good sized team, but we only 24 really race.
Okay.
So
The Coach 'em Up podcast is now powered by Vald, the global leader in human measurement technologies. Whether you're working with elite athletes, gen pop, or return to play populations, Vald's tools are designed to give you objective, actionable data to help drive your decision making. From NordBoards, force decks, and smart speed timing gates, all which I use, Vald helps you measure what actually matters. Their technology is used and trusted by the NBA, NFL, EPL, and NCAA, as well as thousands of high-performance clinics and facilities around the world. If you're serious about performance, recovery, or precision coaching, Vald gives you the best tools to test, assess, and improve. Because remember, if you're not testing, you're just guessing. Follow the link below to learn more and request a demo. Zach, what's the best training app on the planet?
It has to be Train Heroic. Gone are the days of sending the old crusty PDF. Now we have a sleek new app.
It's easy to use. There's videos with descriptions. You get to track and log your weight, your reps. There's a community chat function. You can submit videos. You can get feedback.
How about the leaderboard, Tim?
I started using Train Heroic first as an athlete and someone who wanted to learn. Now I use it as a coach. Athletes and other coaches can go and be a part of my training community and get results.
Whether you're an athlete, coach, or just like to train, use the link in our description to find out how you can train on the best app in the world.
And join us on Train Heroic today. Okay, any other things that have been difficult adjustments for you, having competed at a high level?
yeah, I think like the realization. So for me, like a lot of the athletes that I coach too are like freshmen, walk-ons. Some of like the athletes that just need like a little bit more time before they can race at NCAAs or like be in our first 8, which is
They've
like
got some more development.
Exactly. So I definitely have had the challenge of like, I know what the standard is.
Yeah.
And like what I was capable of, and then having to kind of not like throw that out the window, but realize like these athletes need a little bit different direction sometimes. Sure. And how you approach it isn't the same as like how I would approach what I would do. So I feel like that, especially like my first year, was definitely difficult because it's like, why don't they get it? You know, like why don't you just push harder?
Yeah,
like, it's not that hard,
dude.
But you know,
that's a perfect example that I've seen from people who are like elite, like the best of the best at like either their event or their sport, and the terminology they'll use to try and explain something to someone. I'm like, what you're saying to them, they're not capable of doing. Yeah. They can't.
Yeah.
But it can be so difficult.
Yeah. And that was definitely like a slope that I had to figure out. It was just like how to approach different athletes.
Yes.
Along like this spectrum of athletes that we have too. Because like we do have some of the athletes that you can just be like, you need to go harder.
And they're like, bet. Got it.
Got it. And that's all it takes.
Yep.
But then there's some athletes that you have to kind of like define what it means to go hard.
Sure.
And figure out like how to teach them to just push, you know?
Isn't that
like
interesting how many people don't, you were just about to say it. I don't want to steal your thunder. Go ahead.
Oh, like your definition of hard or your definition of like how to push versus what my definition of hard is.
Bingo.
Like completely different sometimes.
Isn't that interesting? Because even in training a Gen Pop client, like typically what I'll do, my goal is to get people when it comes to I'll use strength training. So in order to use a rep and reserve system, which I love, because it's just something, or even an RPE system, it's something that I've adopted over time because I've come to understand it. I've also found a way to like introduce it really effectively, even with Gen Pop. And the way to do that, if I say day one, all right, Pam, we're going to take this set of goblet squats. I want you to drop it to the floor, low, full range of motion. We're going to leave 2 reps in the tank, 2 reps in reserve. Pam doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about because Pam has no proxy for what that is. The only way for me, in my experience, to effectively teach Pam is to take Pam to failure. Now, we're not going to do it day one, right? Because I'm not a fucked up person, okay? And frankly, because I want Pam to see me again, okay? We're going to get Pam moving. She's going to be able, I'm going to keep her in that 3 to 4 reps away for a while, but eventually we're going to get there sooner than later. I'm going to take her to failure. And Pam is going to set down that 20-pound dumbbell after doing her hill elevated goblet squats and that set to failure. And she's going to look at me like she wants to die. But something really special has just happened. We've found out what her definition of hard is and how far she can take it.
Yeah.
Right. And then we can start to make some serious gains and game planning around that. Are there like workouts that you guys do specifically intended to take them to that place where it's like, this is what it feels like?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it, dude.
I'm in the fall, like 2 classic like workouts that we'll do in the fall. One is a 30-minute test.
Okay.
And the other is 2x5K. And the 30-minute, it's broken up into 3 10-minute chunks. Mm-hmm. It's still one 30-minute test, but the first, and it's all controlled rate. So the first 10 minutes are at a 22, second 10 minutes are at 24, the third 10 minutes are at 26. So, and that's like strokes per minute. So if you ever look at the machine, the monitor in that top right corner, that says like a number, strokes per minute. That's what I'm talking about when I say like, but it's intended that you're going as hard as you can at 22 strokes a minute, at 24 and 26. And it's a very low, like that's a low stroke rate. So it's
you're ripping.
You are ripping for 30 minutes.
Dude, there's a 0% fucking chance I could complete that right now.
It's hard.
I feel very confident in saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think I could.
And like the top girls.
I'd vomit.
Yeah.
I would make myself. I'm going to vomit. I'm not going to not vomit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to prove it that I tried, but I'm going to fail. Yeah.
But like the top kids, like the top girls on our team can go over 8,000 meters.
Jesus.
And that's like, when I say like low stroke rate, that's low. So it's just like power per stroke, power per stroke, power per stroke. Like you can't hide at a 22 or 24.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's one. And then another one we'll do is 2x5K. And typically the first one, sometimes we'll do it at an open rate. Mm-hmm. But mainly it's like 26 strokes a minute. So still pretty low, but allows you to come up just a little bit, but not enough where it's like you're sprinting the entire time. So you still definitely fall into that power per stroke range. And then the second one we'll do is at a lower stroke rate. And that second one is always way harder because now you got to come down and you still got to go hard.
Oh my God.
So, and then we'll do like different things too. Like we use the bike erg a ton as well. We've done a 30-minute test on the bike erg, which arguably like could be harder than our 30-minute.
Really? The bike sucks, dude.
It sucks. Like, and we had a girl.
Just fucking like if there are chairs in hell, there are bikes.
Those bikes specifically. Damper 10.
Damper 10. So miserable.
Yeah, we had someone. I don't want to like get it wrong, but it was either like for her average for 30 minutes was 143.
I don't know what that number means.
Like that's her split. That was like her split average for 30 minutes on the bike, which is, it's like stupid fast for 30 minutes. Like
See, now that this is like one of those moments where I'm like, what can I do
Yeah.
for 30 minutes? I know not that. I'm sure she's much more fit than me, but could I do it for 5?
Sure, let's see. But yeah, so
Those are baked in,
oh yeah, for sure.
the gut checks. How much does, identifying physical qualities for the individual athletes play into the role of their development? Like, I would imagine you get girls who have a background of strength training, who have a big engine. Maybe some have a real big engine, but they're just weak.
Yeah.
Some that are probably strong, but maybe they're just they're cardiovascular. Their output is just not there.
Yeah.
What does the strength program look like around that stuff?
So we only we're in the weight room like twice a week.
Okay.
And a lot of our like strength program isn't really centered around lifting heavy either. A lot of it is just like single leg modality stuff, a lot of rotational stuff because we rotate a ton. And a lot of times like athletes only rotate one way if they only row on one side. So doing a lot of stuff.
Oh shit. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So like even like today, like still for me, like my left shoulder is lower than my right. Like when I snatch or like have an overhead squat, like the bar is going. If I don't have clips, I'm screwed.
Weight's going.
I'm screwed. Yeah. So a lot of it's just like core stability, midline, taking care of like knees, full range of motion.
A lot of tissue health, regenerative type stuff.
Exactly. So it's not like a whole like we don't do any Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
We'll back squat and front squat, but it's never really, and same with deadlift, it's never really that heavy.
Right.
Or we don't ever go into like a 1 rep max range.
So it's mostly trying to identify and address potential overuse injury,
Yeah.
tissue tendon health,
Yep.
asymmetry, because if you're on one side of the boat all
Yeah.
the time. Yeah. So it's really more about doing just enough to keep them healthy so that they can maximize their performance, not necessarily a performance enhancing piece for the sake of that.
Yeah. Like what we do, we're not like in the weight room trying to get stronger in the weight room. We're in the weight room to get faster on the water.
Yeah, totally.
So, and then we also do like we have a bunch of sandbags too. So we utilize those a ton, especially like Monday, Wednesday. We'll use them like 3 times a week, really.
Wait, you like put them in the boat?
No.
Oh, I was like,
off the water.
Okay.
We do thruster, like do a ton of thrusters.
Got it.
Bodyweight squats with them, tons of volume.
A lot of general development
Exactly. Stuff. Yeah. So, but for the most part, like our strength is very. Our head coach will say that we lift some sort of weight 5 times a week.
Okay.
So, and it never is really crazy heavy, but we're picking something up.
Yeah. So where do you feel like, having been a competitor, competed at a high level, which by the way, dude, we didn't talk about this. Didn't you fucking medal? Why did we not talk?
I don't know.
We're going to talk about it now.
That's our ADD. We're just bouncing.
Yeah. So look, all right, let's do this for the sake of continuity. Let's finish. I want to know the things that have been positives for you, and the fact that you have lived experience and competed at a high level, and having done it at your alma mater, where you're coaching now. What have been some of the apparent positives and plus sides for you?
In terms of coaching now.
Yes.
I think a lot of it is like the culture of the team. Like I feel like I was somebody who was very immersed in the culture while I was here, and getting to kind of like give that back in a way, or like I see and I know what they're going through at the same time too. And like the buy-in effect. Like I feel like I can relate a ton there, and just trying to figure out like, okay, how do I inspire them to feel the same way I did about this place? And maybe it's not the exact same way, but like what can happen when like you almost give yourself up for the team? Because some really cool things can happen if you put yourself aside to be like, how can I make this the best team possible? Yeah. And not like, how can this team make me the best possible person? So I feel like that's definitely helped me as a coach, but then also just like trying to realize like I was in their shoes and like what did I need as an athlete that I might not have got, and how can I help them get to where they are and where they want to go.
Yeah.
And everything in between, and learning that not every athlete is the same, and how you talk to different athletes matters.
Yeah, it does.
And also just like how you show up and how you even carry yourself is definitely a reflection of what they do too. Like if I came in every morning and I was just pissed off, like odds are they're not happy either.
Yeah.
So I think like I have a ton of respect for Texas in the program, and just making sure like I still carry that with me, but now carrying it on the coaching side.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I don't know, like coaching, it feels like, and maybe I don't, I just feel like when you said how old, you're 28,
27.
So when I was young growing up, there was still very much this like archetype for a coach that was just like, this is the way we do things no matter what. This is how I talk. This is how I communicate. This is how I do things, right? Fucking fall in line. And like there has to be a standard, right? But I do feel like coaching as a whole, maybe not in football, but but in a lot of sports, there's a lot of that's dying out, frankly.
Yeah.
Quite literally. Where it feels like there's a shift happening where like there's a standard, there's an expectation, there are, principles that we operate by, but the way those things are communicated and a willingness to speak to kids and it's always interesting listening to coaches who like don't love that talk about it,
Yeah.
because the way it's often received is like, well, they're just everyone's special. And it's like, well, there can be that.
Yeah.
Where people think, but it's like, are you sure that you're just not able to communicate with them?
Yeah.
Is this a you problem? And I'm sure, look, it can be one or the other, but I feel like being able to meet people where they're at is always an asset.
Yeah, because you want to get the best version of them, right? And you want to be able to bring the best version of them as an athlete out. And the only way to do that sometimes is to meet them where they're at. Because if you like, for instance, for me, like you can tell me I can't do it, and I'm like, all right, fuck you, watch this.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right? But like if you told, I don't know, someone else that, and that's not how they're motivated, they're not going to respond the same way. Like you could break them.
Yeah.
Maybe not completely, but like
fuck
they could take that and they're just like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
like, oh my God, I'm never going to do this,
She's fucking right.
Yeah, but like for real, that's so like understanding people, I think, is also a really important part of it, because like if you can't understand people, like I don't know, how are you gonna get them to where you want them to be?
Yeah,
because and I think it's different too, like when you're talking to a team as a whole versus you're talking to athletes as individuals. Because sometimes the message to the team can be that. Yeah, and like the ones who are gonna hear it are gonna hear it, and the ones who might not might come up to you and also say something. Yeah. Or just ask for like clarification, like, what do you mean? It's like, okay, well now I can be a little bit more personal with this person specifically. But yeah, I definitely think a lot of it is like people management too. For sure.
So back on the topic of you being a badass athlete, your athletic career did not end. No. You've like medaled. You're a fitness competitor. Like you were just competing like this past weekend. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the continued rowing journey and then everything else that you've got going on too.
Yeah. So when I graduated college, I wanted to row at the World Championships. Like that was just kind of like a goal that didn't become a thing that year. But so the year that I moved home was kind of the year that I decided like, okay, let me give this a shot again. Mm-hmm. And ended up being like a selection camp that was happening in Boston. And a good friend of mine, Christine Cavallo, who's raced on the national team, and she's lightweight. She's insane. She reached out to me and was like, hey, selections in Boston this summer or this spring. You should come. So I'm like, all right, sign me up.
Saying yes.
And
let's go.
So I hadn't been rowing either. That was the
I
thing.
was just about to ask that, dude.
I had
You've
not
been on an island crying and back home depressed.
Yeah, and when I moved back home, that was really when I like started to kind of get back into CrossFit, but it wasn't like I was training at like an elite level or anything. Not anything comparable to like what I'm doing now. It was mainly like I took class and I did a few extra things, mainly like biked or whatever, ran.
Right.
So it wasn't anything huge. And then when I went down selection, I think it was like 3 days worth of trialing and different boats, singles, doubles, quads, all this different. And I ended up getting selected to race the quad after that 3-day weekend. I'm like, holy shit, here I go. I'm back in it. Like, here we go. So training kind of like, now I'm like, okay, I really got to start training. Like, but yeah, at the time, like I was not really rowing, but it was still this just thought that kind of like lived in the back of my head. So when Christine texted me, I was kind of just like I've always wanted to do this and it's in my backyard. Like, I can't give this up. So, went to selection, made the quad. And then that summer before I went to Texas, and that was the other thing too, like, I was kind of accepting this job. Like I accepted the job after I had been selected for the quad.
Okay.
And then even then, so like I was selected for the quad for this club team or like performance team. It's called Next Level. And then from there, we still had to go to trials.
Okay.
To actually qualify to be the U.S. boat, like to represent the U.S. And that was in June. So then we went to won trials, which was epic too. Like it was out in California and we had spent like that whole month before trials out there training. And it was just cool to kind of like be back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
And it just like feels so normal and so just like, oh, this is where I belong, you know?
Yeah.
Because sometimes like you feel like that's what's like, you feel different. You're like, oh, why do I feel like this urge that I'm always have to work out, like always have to be doing something, and like the whole team part of sports missing. So when we were out there, like that was just so fun, like to just be back in that grind. And actually I think when I was there was when Dave called and offered me the job to Texas after I just qualified.
Dang.
Like, yeah, as long as I can race that
finish
world,
this, yeah,
like as long as I can race at world championships, like I'll be there. So we ended up like training all summer, and I was still in Boston, and we had done some camps in Boston and whatnot. And then I moved to Texas, moved all my stuff down to Austin at the beginning of August, and then was in Texas for about 2 weeks before I left. And then we trained. So World Championships was at the end of September, beginning of October. So then once I moved all my stuff down to Austin, I flew out to, like after like the first week of school, flew out to Spain, and we trained in Spain for a couple weeks. And then it was crazy.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was so fun. Like so fun, so cool. And just to be in like a different country.
Yeah.
And we were training with the Spanish national team at the time in Spain. And then we were also, we were also training with the New Zealand national team too. So it was fun to like meet other athletes from different teams and like get close with them. But then at the same time, like we never did any pieces with them at speed, so we never knew like how fast each other was.
Oh wow.
But we ate every single meal together too.
That's wild.
And then from there we all went to Italy, northern Italy. We trained in northern Italy for like 2 weeks maybe, and World Championships was in Barletta, Italy, so southern Italy. But we trained up there for a couple weeks at Filippi, is like a boat manufacturer, and they had hosted us.
Oh, very
and
cool.
New Zealand and Spain. So we all went there together again and continued training there. But this time it was a little bit more like separated.
Okay.
Like we each had practice hours. So now we were really just like separating from each other. And we actually did a race. It was kind of like a race for fun though, in Donoratico, Italy, before Worlds against New Zealand. And then went over down to Barletta and like when I tell you Worlds was insane, like it was insane. Like it was so cool and so fun. And my parents actually flew out.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So awesome.
And so the way that the structure of it all works too, it's like you have a time trial, semis or heats, semis, finals. And the time trial we did not do, like we were not top, I think maybe we were top 6 or 7.
Oh shit.
So we're thinking like,
fuck,
like we're slow. Like, oh no. But the other thing is like it's a time trial. So you're not racing against anybody else. Like it's just
sure.
you.
So there's
like,
no adrenaline.
No adrenaline. And I think,
or at least not.
Yeah. And I think we had, I forget if it was like in the time trial or heat that we kind of had a bobble at our start where our stroke seat like or shot straight up and like literally came, like I sit behind our stroke seat. So I thought like the oar literally came back at me. They grabbed it like just in time to pull it back. And that was either in the heat or the time trial or the semi or the heat. So I was like, all right, like it's just the time trial. It's not. And it's knockout too. So like if you don't win your race in the heat, semis, or finals, like you are that place.
Damn.
So in this heat, we raced GB, and that was like probably the tightest race out of all of our races. And we beat them by like 3 or 4 seconds. And it was insane. Like it literally came down to like the last 10 strokes, maybe 3.
So epic.
And that was wild. Like to like turn around and like, holy shit, we just beat them. Like, let's go. And then in the semifinal, we raced New Zealand, who we'd been training with.
Right.
So that was like when we lined up and like looking at them
shit.
looking at us, it was just like game on, like game on. And then we crushed them. Like completely crushed them. And they had 2 gold medalists from the Olympics.
Whoa.
So we were like on cloud 9. Like,
yeah.
Holy shit, let's go. And then the final was against Italy, in Italy.
Wow.
And the place is going crazy.
I bet.
Like, Italia.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh shit. Like,
so hyped.
let's go. And we crushed. Like, I remember like second half of that race, like
You knew you won.
yeah. I was like, we just need to finish it. Like we literally need to finish it. And it was so
Holy
sick.
Shit.
Yeah.
Electric.
Literally. And we're in Italy. I'm like, let's go.
Yep.
So yeah, gold medal from World Championships. And that was like definitely one for the books.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Man. How recent was this?
2023.
Okay.
Yeah. Fall of 2023.
God, so incredible.
Yeah. And then like I came back from Worlds and like started training with
coaching?
Hannah. Well, started coaching. Yeah.
Okay.
And I had like missed like the whole beginning half of the fall really.
Right.
Because I had got back like
Pretty good reason.
mid-October-ish. And then yeah, right back into the swing of things coaching, or really for the first time into it.
Wow.
So yeah, it was kind of a crazy fall, crazy year.
The Coach 'em Up podcast has partnered with Aleco.
Let's go.
Not only is Aleco found in 85% of Power 5 schools, but they also offer at-home solutions from racks, flooring, rigs, barbells, bumper plates, your favorite accessories like straps and weightlifting belts, you name it, Aleco's got you covered. Go to aleco.com/coachemup and get access to the same equipment that they're using in the best facilities with the best athletes on the planet. How long have you been doing fitness competitions?
So after Worlds in 2023 was when I was like, okay, like let's see what this CrossFit thing's about.
Yeah.
And I was going to the gym that Hannah was going to, and like we got along really well. And also what was cool is when I met Hannah, I felt like for the first time, like I met somebody who kind of had the same mindset as me, you know, like she wanted to do something really cool. And I had felt like I go to the gym, I do all this, but like when you're sometimes surrounded with people who don't have the similar goals, like you kind of feel like, am I just kind of stuck in
For sure.
like what I used to be?
Yep.
You know, like, am I supposed to let this go? Like, I can't let this go. Like, how do I move forward and all this? So when like we kind of started working out together, and I'm like, she loves to spend time in the gym. Like, this is great. Like, I finally feel like I'm not really alone in this venture that I'm kind of on. So like that was really cool. And to like be able to train with her daily and have her in my corner has definitely been inspiring and motivating, but also just gives me a sense of like, I'm not crazy.
Right.
Even though I might be a little, but
well, all the best people are.
So yeah, when I got back from Worlds, like I took some time off and then really started just like jumping into training with her and then kind of like rolled from there. So it's almost been 2 years since, in October it'll be about 2 years since I've been doing CrossFit. But it really wasn't until this past year that I'm like, okay, I want to compete.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I gotta do it.
And like let's see, you know, like the whole why not thing, like that's what I love the most. And if you tell me I can't, like, well,
we'll see about that.
Yeah. So this last weekend was the first time I had ever, like, that was my first ever individual comp.
No way.
CrossFit. Yeah.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah. So that was cool. And that was fun. And I think even that weekend too, like I have a coach and everything, and he came down and like there was only one event that I knew going into it wasn't going to go my way.
Yeah.
It was literally pressing in every which way, handstand push up, bench, ring dip. And that's like I'm a rower. That's the one time I'll say I'm a rower. Like I can pull.
Right.
I can push with my legs.
Right.
But that's like when I saw that workout come out, I was like, oh,
fuck.
Like a little humble pie right here.
Right.
But at the same time too, it's like you only grow from being uncomfortable and like being slightly embarrassed, that's how I felt, you know, like when I literally reached failure in that workout, I'm like, this is a little embarrassing, you know, like, but it also just kind of lit my fire. I'm like, all right, well, we know what we need to do.
Yeah. So let's fucking go.
So yeah. But I'm on the CrossFit grind right now, and it's been cool. It's been fun. It's very different than rowing, which I kind of like. Like rowing is the same thing.
Yeah.
Every single day. Like the workouts might be a little different, but like the movement is always the same.
You be rowing.
Yeah, we be rowing multiple K. Whereas like, I don't know, I go into the gym and I could do handstand walks one day, or I could back squat another day, could run. So I just like the challenge of it all, really.
Yeah.
And to do things that I'm not good at.
I can relate to that. My personal training career has kind of morphed over the years. First, it was just like, I just want to be jacked as fuck. You know, I want to look good. And then I was like, no, I think I want to get strong. And then I was like, no, I want to jump that high and far. Like I miss training like an athlete, you know? Like I really, I want to be a fucking problem when I play pickup basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the past 2 years for me, it's been sprinting. And I've kind of just fallen in love with that process, which is, by the way, why I'm creating Apex. I'm like, I wish I had people that I could compete against.
Yeah.
With all of this
now
stuff.
You do.
And now I do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, we're coming up on time. We're gonna get into some segments. This hour we're an hour and a half.
I literally just saw that.
Yes,
thing.
I know. We're killing this. Actually, here, let's get into some segments. Okay, first segment brought to you by Squat Wedgies. Use code CoachEmUp15 for 15% off at checkout for everything on the Squat Wedgies website. They have more than just squat wedges, but I will say I use their squat wedges all the time and they're fucking fantastic. 3 things. So, what are, and I'm going to make yours a little different. Instead of like rowing specific or CrossFit specific, your story is just so impressive, and it's filled so much with you just being willing to get outside of yourself and take a chance. So when it comes to that young lady that couldn't wait to get the fuck out of Boston, found a way to make it happen, and you've accomplished a lot. You really have. Regardless of what someone's goal is, you know, getting from where you were to where you are now, what are the 3 attitudes, ideas, actions, philosophies, 3 things that someone can take, implement, hold on to to have a similar change in their life?
I think the first one is really just going to be like bet on yourself. You know, like you don't know what you're capable of unless you try. And like be your own biggest fan. You know, like everyone else can cheer for you when you're doing really well, but not everyone's going to cheer for you when you're not. And if you can be that person for yourself, like I believe that you can do anything. And then I think like the idea of being, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but like the idea of being slightly embarrassed, you know, like if you never put yourself in that uncomfortable position, and push yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone, like your comfort zone is never going to grow.
Yeah.
And you're never going to grow. And I think in order to like get from where you are and where you might see yourself, like you have to do that. And it's never going to be easy at first, but like what's the worst thing that could happen?
Right.
So, I think that's 2.
It is. It's 2.
One more.
Move to St. Thomas and coach a CrossFit.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Like if you believe it, it's possible. Like if you can see it for yourself, like you don't need anybody else to see it for you.
Yeah.
And I think people oftentimes like need that validation and need people to reassure them like, hey, you can do this. And like I do too sometimes.
Sure.
But if you can do that for yourself and if you see it and you believe it, like you don't really need anyone else to tell you that it's possible. So
let's fucking go. Next segment. This is Rant and Rave. This is brought to you by Train Heroic. I use Train Heroic. Zach uses Train Heroic. Feels like everyone and their mom now uses Train Heroic. We may have something to do with that. I don't know. Click the link in the show notes and join us on Train Heroic. You can program for you, yourself, your athletes. You can even create a program and put it up for sale online like I have. Okay, so Rant and Rave. When it comes to fitness at large, as you look across the landscape, is there anything that you see currently that you would like to rant about? And I mean something that you just like to see less of.
Ooh.
And then on the other side, some trends, things that you're seeing that you're like, I actually love this and I would like to see more of it.
Okay. The rant. Woof. I think like I get it's kind of trendy, but the whole like recently just saw one like I'm training for the 2028 Olympics and like never have they ever played a sport in their life or lifted a single weight. I'm like that stuff drives me nuts. Like nuts. Or like I'm training for the CrossFit Games, whatever it may be. Like
Yep.
And sometimes just like you have no idea what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
And like I'm
about to find the fuck out.
yeah, exactly. You're gonna find out one way or another, but I don't know why that bothers me.
Yeah.
Like,
I get why that would be irritating, because it does give an air. It's almost disrespectful to assume that you can just go from not ever having any skin in the game to competing at the absolute highest level of, frankly, anything.
yeah.
That rarely fucking happens.
Right. And I get like, okay, like if that's your way to like inspire, motivate yourself too, but great. But at the same time, like you have no idea.
What the fuck are we talking about?
So, and that can like drive me up a wall. It's just like the constant, like my friends send them to me all the time too. Like, oh, look at this person's training for the 2028 Olympics and they're going to row. I'm like, they've never even sat in a boat. Like,
that is that's a new one.
oh, really?
I haven't heard that
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
Yes, adjacent, but that's new. So thank you for new material.
Okay.
I like this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Rave.
I like when people just do things that this maybe conflicts my rant, but like when they're not good at them.
Yeah.
And it's like day one of doing this, I've never done it before.
Mm-hmm.
But then like by day 30, and that's like kind of cool because that's the slight bit of like embarrassment. Like that's the bit of like put yourself out of your comfort zone. Like don't be afraid to fall in front of others, you know? But yeah, I think when people do like when they put themselves in those like embarrassing positions or things that they're not good at and they get really good at them
Mm-hmm.
because they're not afraid of just like the trying or what other people may or may not say.
Yeah. But to your point about it being conflicting, not entirely though. Cause
Not entirely, a little different.
there's it's one thing to say it's like, I'm going to make the 2028 Olympics in rowing and
Yeah.
day
Learn how to
14 of learning a new skill. Very
Yes,
different essence.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. This next segment is brought to you by the David Gray Rehab. And if you click the link in the show notes or just go to David Gray's Instagram page, look up and find the foot, ankle, and Achilles program. You can get lifetime access and save 15% if you just use code Tim. We love David Gray and we love David Gray Rehab here. If you were not a coach or a competitor of any kind, I'm going to eliminate what you got going on. What would you be and why?
I think I would be like a travel advisor of some sort, like travel the world. And
would you be advising St. Thomas, frankly?
Yeah, I would.
So it's very bizarre that I didn't know this. I didn't know this was a part of your story, obviously, prior till today. The last session I had before coming here, one of my athletes' father, he sat with me the whole session, which, like we chatted, right? He spent half of it telling me about the trip they're taking to St. Thomas.
Oh, no way.
Swear to God.
Huh.
So maybe this is a sign. Maybe Kelly, baby, we're taking a vacation.
Yeah, go for it.
Very cool. Why?
I feel like it'd just be cool to travel the world and see new places and like not rate them, but like give my advice on like where to go, where not to go, what to do, what not to do.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like if I was not an athlete, not a coach,
you're not allowed to coach, you're not allowed to compete.
Yeah. I would need something else like that I can like bounce around doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would be, I don't know, a cool thing to do.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Overrated versus underrated. This is powered by Vald. Click the link in the show notes. You can ask for a demo. Overrated versus underrated. So what are some training ideas, philosophies around rowing that are overrated, right? Maybe some skills, technical ideas that go into it that you're like, I actually don't think that fucking matters. And then on the other end, what are some underrated ideas, philosophy, physical characteristics that actually move the needle in your opinion?
I think sometimes or oftentimes like people try to complicate it too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think like our sport is very simple. Like and you can do a ton of different drills to come up with different things, whether it's like pause at the finish, pause arms and body, square and feather, which are really technical terms, like, but all having to do with like the stroke and the motion. But sometimes I feel like if you complicate it, then it's really complicated.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas like, I think our sport is really simple, but because it's really simple, it's also really hard to do.
Yeah.
But like if you focus on like the major parts of it, like how to teach someone to go really hard, and just keep it nice and smooth, then I feel like it's more doable than when you try and break it down in too many ways that it's just like now they're rowing like a robot opposed to rowing really powerful.
Okay. I like the idea of the concept of coaching is like if it doesn't need to be said, don't say it.
Yeah.
And I've also learned that like just shutting the fuck up has made me such a better coach.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just let them do 3-4 more reps.
I was about to say like
sometimes
let them row.
Yep. Let them. It's like, oh, there it was,
Yeah.
You didn't have to, Okay. What's underrated?
Underrated. I think like oftentimes it's just like maybe it's the same thing as like, but it's the simplicity of it. Like let them row, like the underrated, and that can sometimes be like, oh, you do too much of it, but no, I don't think you can do too much of that if it's a good thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, keeping it really simple and like we always say like be obsessed with the boredom, and like just the idea of like putting in as many minutes as possible, really. because the sport is so aerobic. And I think sometimes people try to also complicate that too. Like, oh, we need to pause here at this amount of minutes and change stroke rate so they don't get bored. But it's like, no, just row. Like if they want to be really good at this, they're gonna do it.
Shut up and row.
Shut up and row.
Last segment. This segment is called Unsolicited Solicited Advice. This is brought to you by Alexa. Click on the link in the show notes, and you do have to click on our link. But then, whatever it is you decide to purchase from Alexa, you'll be fucking happy because it's Alexa. Use code CoachEmUp10, and you're going to save 10% off everything that you can purchase through that link, which is absolutely insane. Still can't believe they sponsor us. Maybe not for long. No, I'm just kidding. They love us. So unsolicited, solicited advice. Tomorrow, you're going to go for a workout. Okay. And you're going to notice there's someone new at the gym, right? Now, normally you would just walk over and maybe introduce yourself and say, hey, nice to meet you. Notice you're new. Just want to say hi, what's up?
Yeah.
But today, for whatever reason, you're like, hey, what's up? Bam. And you're just going to hit this person with some unsolicited advice, right? Now, I'm soliciting it.
Yeah.
So you have to share with us if there was going to be any piece of advice you were going to leave with some random person at the gym. And it can be about anything. What would your advice be?
Man, I don't know. I'd be like, squat below parallel, please.
Yeah, that's fucking great advice. Actually. Yeah. Or would your advice be like, hey, no, tense harder when you row.
Please, like, let me see your neck veins.
Squat below parallel.
Squat below parallel.
That's phenomenal advice. Honestly, we've had people get philosophical, deep, emotional, mushy, something encouraging, inspiring, and there's nothing that's going to make a better impact on someone's training career than just squatting like an adult. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's...
All right. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
This has been a blast.
Yeah.
We ripped through this podcast. We're at an hour and 45.
Yeah, dang.
We did it. Where can people find you and connect with you?
You can connect with me on Instagram, Alexa_McAuliffe. McAuliffe. Yeah. I feel like that's probably the best way to connect with me. Unless you want to email me, but...
That's her way of saying don't fucking email her, dude.
Don't, please.
Everyone who's made it this far, listen and watch, thank you so much. We deeply appreciate you. And just remember, like, there are two types of people in this world. People who, row 2 tenths, people who don't. They may or may not be correlated to the kind of person who would subscribe and not. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.